덮어주고 싶지 않으십니까? 이 제품은 해외에서도 인기가 아주 많습니다. If I have a chance to go to North Korea again, I buy a lot of things this time. 반갑습니다. 반갑습니다. Something like that. Coucou à tous, c'est K-Jin du lundi. That's right, I upload a new video every Monday, so visit my YouTube channel on Monday. If you're following my Twitter or Instagram, you probably noticed that I'm into crush landing on you these days. And as a person who has been to North Korea, I would like to share some things about North Korea and my experience in North Korea. If you like this video, please don't forget to give thumbs up and subscribe to this channel and also turn on the notification so you don't miss my videos about Korea and Japan. Alors, allons-y! So let's talk about crush landing on you first. Usually, North Korea is described in all the negative ways in other media like movies or dramas. It's described as a country that everyone wants to escape and people are bad. I'm not talking about the fact, but in this drama, they are not focusing on that aspect. But this drama is focusing on the other feelings that Korean people have towards North Korea. Of course, we have negative feelings about the country, but we also have the other feelings like we are a bit scared of the country and we are also curious as the same country which we cannot reach. Even though we don't have any direct experience in North Korea, we kind of miss that land. In my grandparents' generation, it was one country. South Korea and North Korea was just one country. It was divided after the war, and even some of our relatives and families have memories in the country, so it's kind of pain to South Korean people, and also we feel pity on that country. This drama indirectly expressed that, so I was very surprised. Anyway, I really enjoyed watching this drama, and maybe I enjoyed it more than other people because I have been to North Korea. How could I join the trip? From 1998 to 2008, the relationship between South Korea and North Korea were pretty good. And they made us some tour program so South Korean people could travel to North Korea. And the government thought that young generation like me were not so interested in North Korea, and we start feeling that it's completely a different country. But as a government, these two countries should be united someday and young people should be aware of that. That's why government decided to send some South Korean students to North Korea so we can be more interested in that country and feel more familiar with the country. And luckily, I was chosen as one of the students, and government paid everything, all the tours, so we could travel for 2 nights and 3 days, I think, or 3 nights, 4 days. It wasn't so long, but yes, I could go to North Korea by bus. So we took a bus, it just went to North Korea directly. In South Korea, we call North Korea as 북한. 북 means north and Han is the name of our country, South Korea. Officially, Republic of Korea, and 북한 means it's Republic of Korea but it's northern side. We call ourselves as Namhan, but I was told that we should not use this term because that term is made in South Korea, so North Korean people would not agree. Why? Because North Korean people call us as 남조선. 조선 is name of North Korea, so they're calling us 남조선, which means south part of North Korea, and they call themselves as 북조선. So we use different terms to call each other and it's not fair. So what we have to use is 남측 or 북측. 남측 literally means south side and 북측 means northern side. So it's kind of fair. In the bus, we heard lots of things like what we shouldn't do in North Korea. They told me that never ever talk about politics. And they also gave us some example of a student who mentioned about politics. Like he also joined this program and went to North Korea. He saw North Korean people and said, "Hey, you guys are so poor. It's because of Kim Jong-il." It was the name of the leader of North Korea at that time. And he's so fat and he's crazy. You guys are all crazy. Why are you believing him? North Korea is crazy, blah blah blah. And what happened? He was arrested and he couldn't come back to South Korea for 2-3 months. I don't know if that story is true or not, but tour guide told us that story and we are so scared and we are like, okay, let's not talk about anything bad. There are a lot of things that we have to keep in mind, like don't say this, don't say this, don't do this, don't do this. And the other thing was don't talk to North Korean people. We are not allowed to take picture of North Korean people. The bus arrived in North Korea. North Korean soldier got on the bus to check all of us. They check our face like and yes, we are all passed and we enter North Korea. But that wasn't the last time I saw the North Korean soldiers. They are basically everywhere. Wherever we go, North Korean soldiers are there. Their role is to watch us. So when we walk, they're also looking at us. So you see some beautiful nature like, oh, that mountain is beautiful. And then if there's North Korean people, then we are not allowed to take picture. If North Korean soldiers think we took the picture of the North Korean people, then they come to us and ask us to show the camera. Hey, you just took the picture of North Korean people, right? Show me your camera. And they check all the pictures, and if they find it out, we have to delete the pictures. I try not to take picture of North Korean people because I was scared anyway. How about the food there? Food? I don't know. It's because we could stay in the accommodation built by South Koreans. So basically, they got all the ingredients from South Korea. And South Korean people cook. And I was eating with South Korean students. And also the menus were South Korean dishes. I remember it was pizza. And then jjajangmyeon is black bean noodle, which is very popular in South Korea. I had just one meal in North Korean hotel, and that was a real North Korean food. And I'm sure it's not their daily meal because there were lots of meat, and I heard from tour guide that North Korean people don't eat meat so often. How was the food? It was really good. The food was very savory. It's not like they're using lots of seasoning or chemical condiment, but they are really using traditional sauce only, like soy sauce, salt. So maybe it wasn't the food that young kids like the taste of ketchup, mayonnaise, or some sauce, but it wasn't taste like that, but it was more like traditional taste, and it was really good. It was pretty plain and simple. Where did I go? Pyongyang? No. Pyongyang is the capital city of North Korea, but we were not allowed to go there. The program was about Kumgangsan tour. Kumgangsan is famous mountain in North Korea. So a lot of our ancestors want to travel there in their life. It was their dream because it's so beautiful. And our ancestors draw the mountain a lot, and they all draw like this. So I was always wondering why the mountain looked like that, but actually the mountain looked like that. But anyway, we are only allowed to walk in that area, and definitely it was one of the most beautiful mountains I've ever been to so far. Next is about North Korean people, North Korean residents, local people there. So in the Kumgangsan mountain, there are some people, North Korean people, local people walking around. And according to tour guide, they are not just real people. I mean, they are people, but they are not real local people. North Korea government picked some people who have good looking and also who has good background. I mean, they don't have any family who are from South Korea, so they have no intention to escape North Korea or stuff like that. So they picked really good people and asked them to walk around. Their goal is to give good impression to South Korean people. Like, oh, North Korean people have good looking. And actually, I believe that because North Korean people who walk around in that park were all good looking. Of course, the beauty standards in South Korea and North Korea are different. So from the South Korean standard, they look like good looking Korean people in 60s, 70s, 80s. They are all tall enough, and they're not too thin, they're not too fat, they all has good looking. And their another job is to take picture of others. Sometimes we ask other people, hey, could you take picture of us? Those people already learned how to take pictures using the digital camera stuff. Their job is to take picture of tourists. So the tour guide said you can ask them to take picture of you if you want. Basically, it looks like they are just taking a walk, but taking a walk was their job. So the purpose of this trip for North Korea is to earn lots of money from the tourists. So they were selling a lot of things and everything was so expensive. I entered the store out of curiosity and suddenly the North Korean clerk came to me and said, 예뻐지고 싶지 않으십니까? 이 제품은 해외에서도 인기가 아주 많습니다. I'm the South Korean person, so I cannot imitate their accent exactly, but they sound like that to me. So it literally means, don't you want to be beautiful? This product is very popular in other countries too. So they're trying to selling me some shampoo. And I thought that's really weird, but when you go to the stores, is anyone selling something like that? Like, hello? Do you want to be beautiful? Try this. It's like advertisement. But anyway, the shampoo was $10. At the time, I was using Japanese shampoo and that was like $8. And then even North Korean shampoo is more expensive than Japanese shampoo and I was like, no way. So I didn't buy the shampoo. How can you buy things there? You cannot use South Korean money in North Korea, right? It's a different country basically. You put your money into some card. They give you card and you can charge the card. And using the card, you can buy different things in the shop. I charged like 60 euro or 80 euro. I don't remember exactly, but it was a big amount of money to me, but I lost the card. Anyway, still good. I could buy one bottle of alcohol for my father. If I have a chance to go to North Korea again, I buy a lot of things this time. We were going to North Korea by bus. So we could actually see the houses, real North Korean houses. I was very surprised that there are lots of cement house. It's not even painted, it's just gray. It doesn't look beautiful, it's just like cement. It seems very cold. I could see the big gap between South Korean and North Korea. Next, North Korean performance. Have you ever seen North Korean performance on TV or on YouTube or somewhere? So when they sing like birds. Their voice is really beautiful. 반갑습니다. 반갑습니다. Something like that. They also showed us some kind of circus and a lot of things, but actually at that time I was really sick. I think it was really cold and then we were walking a lot and I was also nervous all day. All my trip, so I got sick. So I really did my best to enjoy the show, but I couldn't. So yeah, I don't remember much. That was my first trip to foreign country. Should I say this country is a foreign country? I didn't use my passport, so maybe I didn't need to say foreign country. But anyway, it was my first experience to cross the border. That was very shocking experience to me. What would I learn from this trip? Do you remember the goal of this trip that government said? It was very successful in my opinion. I wasn't interested in North Korea at all and I felt it's just a different country. I don't care what they do or anything, but since I went to North Korea and came back, I started getting more interest in this country. You know what? We can distinguish Chinese, Korean, Japanese just by looking at their face. Of course, it's not 100% accurate, but somehow we can distinguish. They have some kind of atmosphere, and I was very surprised. North Korean people has South Korean face. Of course, we were same country for thousands of years, and we are divided just like 70 years ago or something. So it's natural, but I never thought about that. I just feel North Korea is just far from my real life. But when I went there, I was like, oh, they have same face as us. They're just same people like us. And we are just divided because of the war. I just learned it from textbook, but that was the moment that I truly felt from my heart. And I also felt, yeah, we are one country, sharing the same history, same food, same culture. It was very interesting, and it gave me a lot of food for thought. So where are those pictures? I asked my parents to look for the pictures in North Korea that I took. They said they cannot find it. So I cannot show my pictures to you. When I visit Korea, I make sure to check my room and then try to find the pictures. If I find them, I'll make another video to show you my real pictures taken in North Korea. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to learn more about North Korea, I already made a video about North Korea and I put the link here. Merci de regarder ma vidéo tous les lundis. Je vous vois lundi prochain. Au revoir.